Hey there, how's it going? Welcome to Loop Learnings, and this is the first video of Clinic Management System. In this video, we will be focusing on setting up our database for the Clinic Management System. So if you are interested in learning how to build Clinic Management System, then you should be subscribing right now as I speak, and you should be clicking on the bell icon so you get a video, or you get a notification whenever I upload a next video. So we are, as I said, we are making clinic management system. Now let me just tell you before I begin, I'm not an expert in clinic management system or clinics generally, overall speaking. So I'm going to build features whatever I know. Yes, you can take away this knowledge, you can convert it into your own sophisticated clinic management application. All right, so please bear that in mind throughout this series when I'm building this. You might see some of the things that might be missing that you should be having. You will be thinking, oh, we should have this in this application. Sure, that's why I said you can take away this knowledge and you can build accordingly according to your requirements. So please bear that in mind. I will keep repeating this throughout the series as well. And if you think there's something that I can build and I should build as part of the application, please do let me know, and I'll think about it and whether I can build it. All right. Okay, so tools. What tools we are going to use to build this application? Well, for the backend, we are going to use Microsoft SQL Server, and for the front end, we are going to use Microsoft Access. Perhaps from the next video series, I'm going to actually make some videos on the VB.NET, which mean or C Sharp. So we will explore that area. And by the way, I know VB.NET, but C Sharp I'm learning as we speak. So I'll try to share my knowledge, whatever I know. Anyway, coming back to the video, we will be making some tables in the database, which is going to reside in SQL Server. And as you can see, there are a couple of tables right here. And we are not going to make all the tables in this video. We'll be making first 3 tables in this video, and then the remaining tables we will make it in the next video. Okay. We will also create some of the relationships in SQL Server as well at the end of the video. So let's begin. Now, this is the SQL Server Management Studio. If you did not install it yet, please make sure that you go to google.com, type in SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server installation. So I'm sure the first or second link will appear in the search, and you follow the instruction and get it installed. Once you have installed, you will see this screen. This is your playground. This is what you are going to work at. All right. Now, first of all, we are going to create a database. And to create a new database in SQL Server, we will locate the folder called databases. Well, not rocket science, right? So in the database, in the databases folder, you will actually create a database, and that will reside in the databases. Now, if I'll expand this, you can see that I've already created a couple of databases. By the way, if you haven't watched, you should watch Inventory Management System series as well on this channel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new database. And to create a new database, I will simply right click on the folder called databases, and I will choose the first option called new database. Once I do that, I simply have to provide the name of the database. Then I will leave rest on the SQL Server, let it work and let it create database for us. So because this is a clinic management system, therefore we are going to name it CMS. I'll keep it short, and that's it. You don't have to do, as of now, you don't have to do at this stage anything else apart from giving a user-friendly name to your database. So once you have done that, once you're happy, just click OK, and now it will do its thing. It's very quick generally, and it will create a database in here. Now, if I'll expand CMS database, I will see a lot of options. For example, programmability, and tables and views and database diagrams, etc., etc. So it's a sea of features, the SQL Server itself. One has to spend time on exploring all the features. Anyway, we are going to build tables in this database called CMS. And the first table I'm interested in building is patients table. And to do that, what I will do is I will locate the folder called tables, which is right here. On the right, on the tables, I'll do a right click. I'll go to click on new table, and there we go. Now it is asking us, okay, what exactly you want me to create in the table. So we'll give the column names and data types. There are a couple of data types in here which are frequently used and there are few data types that I personally have never used. So I'm going to use only the data types that are actually used very frequently. So now let's give in a column name, the first column name, and we are going to start with the patient's table. Therefore, we'll start with the patient ID. So the every patient have a unique ID. So I've given that, and I will choose the data type. Now this is going to be a primary key. So and I want it to be auto incremented field. So therefore, I have to define the data types, and the data types I can define is int. All right. And would you like to allow nulls for this field? Absolutely not. Okay. So I'm going to uncheck that. So it always asks for this information if user has skipped it. Well, this field, of course, user cannot skip because it is or going to be generated automatically. But with the current settings, would it create auto number? No, it would not, because we have to give that instruction to SQL Server. And to do that, I will maximize a little bit this portion, and in here in the identity specification, I'm going to expand this, and I'm going to make it as is identity yes. All right, now you can see that the moment I turn the no to yes, we have a couple of things changed here: identity increment and identity save. So that is done. Okay, now next I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a primary key. As of now, I don't have any indication which tells me that this is a primary key. And to mark this field or column as a primary column or primary key, I will simply go ahead and click on this little key icon, and there you go. There's a little yellow color icon. I know you can't see it maybe because it's very tiny, but trust me, it's there, and it is considered now as a primary key, and it will be auto incremented as well. And that's what exactly I wanted. Now, quickly, let's move on to first name. And of course, the first name is going to be string in the string. So data type should be accordingly. Now, for string, we will use the data type called varchar. Okay. Now, in the parentheses, you see 50. That means the character number of character limits. Now, you can increase the character limits because some names are quite bigger. And do you want to allow nulls? Absolutely not. So just uncheck that. Now, to speed up a little bit, I'll just copy and paste, and I will copy the last name from the Excel, and I will paste in here, and remaining everything will be same. Date of birth. Now, instead of date of birth, I would prefer to have age column. All right. So we'll have age of the patient, and we will give that input into the database. So we'll keep that as integer, and I will uncheck that as well. Gender. So gender, of course, it is going to be string value. So we are going to choose varchar. And by the way, we will uncheck that. We'll keep it mandatory. For gender, we don't need that many characters to be added. Then we have address. So let's copy the address, and addresses are quite bigger. So we will increase the number of characters from 20 to 100, but the data type remains same varchar. Then we have phone. So I'll copy the gender column, and I will paste in here phone, and we'll keep 20. All right. We'll keep 20. Email. Email generally is a little lengthier field. So we'll copy the email. Okay, and we'll make it 100. Next we have got is insurance company. Now insurance company, um, we'll keep it as optional. For, let's say, if we don't have any information about the insurance company, we can keep it empty. All right, but if you want to make it mandatory, sure, go ahead. And the insurance number therefore will also be optional. Okay, there we go. Now we are done adding all the columns that I wanted. We are done making this field as a primary key, and we have done everything that we supposed to do. So now it's time to save the table. So I'll simply press Ctrl S, and it will ask me the name, and we'll give the name of the table called TBL patients, and we'll click OK. That's it. We'll close this, and we're done. Now if I'll expand this, here we go. TBL patients. We have a table created. Now let's quickly move on, and let's create a next table. Let me make it, just for identification as light green. So we are done with this table. Next is kind of similar table. So, but it is for doctors. So let's right click on the tables, new table, and in here will now, because I've done quite a lot of briefing, so I will now speed up a little bit. I will not be explaining each and everything in detail now, because I think I've done a bit of explanation on each and everything that I demonstrated. If there's anything new, definitely I will do that. So don't worry. So we have made that identity specification, and we have made that as a primary key as well. So again, doctor's first name, varchar, and we'll increase that to 100, no null, and then doctor's last name, and there we go. And then specialization. Now you could make a separate table for specialization, which will be actually really helpful, um, because you can then assign to any number of specialization to a doctor. Right now you can't assign everything, right? You can keep it because we have not created a separate table for that, but you can definitely. Why not? Let's make this field as, from 100 character limits to 20, phone number, right? And then next one is email for the doctor, and we can provide that as 100 characters. All right, not null, not null. Specialization, we'll keep it null. And for this doctor, we want to track if the status is active or inactive. So we'll have that as well. Okay. So are we done with everything? I think so as of now. Yes. So let's press Control S on the keyboard and we get a pop-up. We give a name which is meaningful, and that would be TBL doctors. All right. That's it. We're done with the second table. Let's close that. Now it's not appearing here, so don't worry. Just right click on the tables and just refresh it. And there you go. Now the next table we will create is the visits table. Okay. Now visits table is basically capturing the visit by name. It understand. We can understand. All right. So we'll go ahead and add a new table. Right click the new and table, and in here we'll add visit id, and that would be integer. All right, again, and we will actually make it as the primary key and auto increment, and you know this sequence, right? So you can please follow this sequence to make a field as a primary key. Patient id, so we will have patient id and we'll make it integer, and then we'll have doctor id. All right, and we'll make this integer as well. We will have visit date, visit time, visit type, visit type. With visit type, we will actually make it as a varchar, because later on we will, in the user interface, we will have a drop down which will have appointment or walk-in two options. All right. Then we will have the appointment date. Okay. So that means visit date, not just appointment date. And then visit time. Okay. And we'll choose date time. And then we'll have reason for visit. So let's have that. And varchar, let's make it 200, right? Maybe we have to write a lot of detail. And then the status of the visit. Okay. And we will get that. And for this 20 character limit would be fine. Now we have done that. We have made a visit ID as primary key. Let's save it and we'll give a name TBL visits. Now notice two things. Number one, we have patient ID and then we have doctor ID. Patient ID, doctor ID are foreign keys. Their primary key located in these respective table, patient's table and doctor's table. So we have to create a relationship. So in SQL Server, if you want to create a relationship, let's link this foreign key to its primary key, which is located in the patient's table. I'll select the column and I'll click on this little icon called a relationship. So I click on that and I get a pop-up window. In here, I will click on add, and in here I will click on dot 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 after expanding. Now primary key table, we know that this information, the patient ID, resides in the patient's table, and then in the visits table we have this as a foreign key stored as patient ID. So we'll click OK, and one relationship is done. Now the second relationship we are going to create is the doctors. So doctors, this is foreign key, sorry, and primary key is stored in the doctors table. So let's create another relationship by clicking on add and dot dot dot. And in here we will choose doctors and we will choose doctor ID. And in the visits table, we will choose doctor ID as well. So we'll click OK and we will close and we will save it. We will get a little warning and we'll click on yes. That's it. So we have successfully created three tables, sorry, two databases, or one database in this video, and we have created three tables. Successfully, we have created relationship as well. So that's what I wanted to demonstrate in this video. Rest of the tables we will create in the next video. I hope that you have learned something. If it was useful, please give a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments below whether you have learned something or not. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.